And welcome to episode 42 of the TechnoBuffalo Show. I'm one of your two hosts for today, Sean Ani, editor-in-chief of the site, and I'm joined by Deputy Managing Editor Todd Hazelton.
Hey, everybody.
How are you doing today, Todd?
I'm good.
Since this is episode 42, this means this episode will contain the answer to life, the universe, and everything, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, cool. Well,
I always at the end, though. We don't want people to leave so early.
I always forget 42 is actually the answer. It's figuring out the question.
Yeah, that's right.
Is the big part. But Little Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
I read that.
For those of you who...
It's part of a series, right? I only read the first one, I think.
Yeah, there were 5 books. There was Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, Restaurant at the End of the Universe.
Oh, I read that one too.
I forget what the third one was called. Then there was like So Long and Thanks for All the Fish.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I read them all way back.
Good books, though.
Back when I was in grade school, I was reading those. Back in the 80s. Anyway, so on this week's show, we're going to be discussing a lot of upcoming movies. You know, we're entering into the summer blockbuster season. And also, you know, I know you all love our talking about phones, but there also is the fact that we come out once a week and phones do not come out once a week.
Right.
So every once in a while we're going to have to diverge into other territories. That being said, during the question and answer area of the show, you're more than welcome to ask any questions you may have about phones.
Anything flies.
But the big story, of course, this week was, hey, here's the Star Wars Digital Edition.
Yeah. Breaking, coming Friday.
Here they are. They're coming on Friday.
Yeah.
What the heck was that?
I don't know, and it's crazy because if you look, like I was on PlayStation last night, I mean, you Google Play Store, you look everywhere, and all of a sudden, you know, they all have that banner, like pre-order now, coming Friday. Some of them have the packages for $89.99. But the crazy thing is, when there's that many people involved, you'd think that the date would have been leaked earlier, and I don't think I saw it anywhere. Did you see it? I mean, it came as a surprise.
The first leak, I traced it back to a Star Wars fan site called yakface.com, which I won't bother explaining why their name is Yakface. But they had a picture back on April 1st, which everyone took into account that it was on April 1st, that a Walmart somewhere had accidentally put the banners out on their theft deterrent stands early. So that was the first time that the date showed up. Even at that, only 9 days out is amazing.
Pretty good. Yeah, especially all the hands involved in that.
Yeah, and then Voodoo, which is partially owned by Walmart, screwed up and had the information up early.
You'll have to pardon me while I grab this chew toy from the puppy.
So, yeah, I mean, the fact that
everybody.
the fact that it was officially announced on Tuesday, and then boom, here we go, and it's released on Friday.
Right.
And what's interesting is the following week is the Star Wars Celebration out in Anaheim. You know, or actually, it's the following Friday. So why they didn't wait for that is also curious.
Yeah.
But here we are, finally, after years and years of waiting. And I do see we have a question from Sachin Bahal. I'm sorry, I God, so used to saying it the other way. Why did it take so long for the Star Wars movies to come to digital? Well, part of the problem is even after Disney purchased Lucasfilm, 20th Century Fox actually has the distribution rights to Episode 4, A New Hope, through 2020. So Disney had to make a deal with 20th Century Fox to distribute all 6 films. Otherwise, it would have been 5 of the films, and the original one would not have been included. So yeah, that was a lot of the reason right there, was just trying to work out the deal with 20th Century Fox.
The hard thing I'm trying to figure out is, like, which store do I buy it from? And that comes down to the whole ecosystem thing we've always talked about. Like, do I get it through iTunes, Amazon, Google Play Store? I don't know. PlayStation. I think I'm going to do Google Play Store just because,
right.
You can get that on iOS and then Chromecast.
Well, for me, it came down to either Apple or Amazon, because if I did it through Amazon, then I could play through any of my Rokus. But I also, I as everyone knows, I'm a big movie watcher on planes, but I do all that through iTunes. So I finally fell on the side of iTunes, but I really was going,
which way do you go? Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah.
Breaking news for everybody while we're on here. I like to do this during this show. OS X 10.10.3 with photos is out now. We'll be ready.
Awesome. So yeah, I agree with you. That actually was a big debate for me, and Amazon was slightly cheaper, but still, I wanted the ability to slap them on my iPad and take them with me.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. It's always hard for me to choose, like, where am I going to buy this movie? Yeah. And I find that most of my collection is actually in Google Play, oddly enough. I mean, I use Android all the time, but for some reason I'm like you. I have an iPad too, and I think maybe I'll just do it in iTunes.
So the big question, since all 6 films are coming out, do you have a personal ranking of which ones, the order in which you like them?
I don't, but I know you do. I wasn't a fan of, and I know you like one of the newer ones better than one of the older ones, but I prefer the older ones, and I think it's just sort of the sentimental thing. I watched them with my father when I was younger, and the newer ones, I just, I don't feel that attached to. I also don't like Jar Jar Binks, but
a lot of people consider me a heretic because I rank my order goes 4, 5, 3, 6, 2, 1, and the reason I put A New Hope Episode 4 above Episode 5 is, yes, Episode 5 is a better film, without question, but I have a lot of sentimental attachment to 4. I also realized that we would not have gone 4, 5, 1, 2, and 3 without 4, or 5, 6, 1, 2, and 3 without 4. So 4, just for its place in history, for what it started, and quite possibly set me down a life path at the age of 6. That's why 4, just like you have sentimental attachment to the original trilogy, I have a very deep sentimental attachment to Episode 4. As for ranking Episode 3 above Episode 6, I will never forgive Lucas for the Ewoks. I actually despise the Ewoks more than I despise Jar Jar.
Really? Wow, okay.
I would like to hunt Ewoks and roast them over a fire.
Make a carpet.
Make a nice carpet, and also have a nice Ewok brisket for Sunday dinner. I hate the Ewoks. So yes, my order is a little controversial: 4, 5, 3, 6, 1, or 2, 1. And honestly, I will already put 7 above 1 without even having seen it.
Nice.
Yeah, that's how much I hate Episode 1. So yeah, Star Wars is finally coming along.
Digital. Now I assume you already own these too. Someone said in one of the comments they have the VHS tapes, which I love.
I have them on VHS. I have them. This is the one that will blow everyone's mind. On Laserdisc.
Nice. I was going to ask.
On DVD and on Blu-ray.
And now digital.
And now digitally. Yes, I still have my Laserdiscs.
That's awesome.
Yeah, which actually gives me a leg up over many people because I have the original theatrical cuts and not the special editions.
Wow.
Yeah. So no bad CGI Jabba in Mos Eisley. So the other big thing, of course, is Avengers: Age of Ultron is premiering on May 1st, or releasing in the U.S. on May 1st. It actually comes out in Europe the week before. However, we get to break some news.
Yeah.
Some very exciting news. Our own John Rettinger, president of the company, you've seen him a million times on YouTube, he got invited to the red carpet premiere.
Pretty awesome.
So Monday evening, I think he has to be there like 6:30 Pacific time, but he will be at the Avengers: Age of Ultron premiere with all the cast. He will be seeing the film that day. He cannot, just so no one gets their hopes up, he will not be reviewing the movie immediately. We are under an embargo. So he will not be able to talk about what he thought of the movie until later in the month. But he will be, if you want to follow us on Instagram and Twitter and all that, he will be doing Periscope from the red carpet. He will be taking pictures. We'll have all sorts of pictures and information from the event. So very exciting, and I am insanely jealous.
Yeah. And tell me what you told me before the show started. You have dibs on the new Star Wars.
If by any miracle we get invited to the Star Wars The Force Awakens premiere, I've already called shotgun. John is taking his lovely wife with him to the Avengers movie, but if we get invited to Star Wars, I've already told him that Rebecca is out, and I'm his date.
Nice.
Call me what you will, shotgun date, I don't care, wingman, camera boy, I don't care, I'm going to The Force Awakens if we get invited.
In costume.
Nah, even I have my limits. Even I do have my limits. But, so no, I'm super excited for him. I mean, as somebody from the Midwest, I mean, I can only dream of going to a Hollywood premiere, so I'm super excited and jealous for him.
Yeah.
But so make sure, everyone, you tune in on Monday to all of John's social media. He will be sending out all sorts of stuff from the Avengers premiere. That being said, I'm excited for the movie. I probably won't see it opening weekend. I've gotten to that age now where I'm just like, crowds.
I'm the same way.
Wave my cane at you, crowds.
Yeah, I want a good seat and all that. Yeah.
Exactly. I don't want to sit, especially in my little dinky theater, you sit right on top of each other. Yeah. So I don't want to sit there like this the entire movie with my arms crossed.
I've never been to one of those theaters where they have, the meal service and the drinks and all that. Have you ever been to one?
I want to go to one of those so bad.
Yeah. Seems cool.
Yeah, like the Alamo Draft House down in Texas.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a couple of them out in California. I think they have a few too.
Yeah, I would love to go to a theater like that. I mean, I hate buying overpriced bags of M&M peanuts and...
when you can have an overpriced steak.
Exactly. Exactly. I mean, like, I'll go out to a theater, when I'm out in California, there's one specific one I go to sometimes. And I'm just like, you want $4.50 for a bottle of water?
Yeah.
And folks, yes, that's how movie theaters make the majority of their money, but I'm sorry, I sneak bottles of water in. I break that rule of no outside food or drink. Yeah. I'm sorry, water is a basic human right. I'm sorry. If I want to take water in with me, I'm taking water in with me. But, what are they going to do? But, no, Avengers I'm excited for. I'm excited to see the Marvel Universe continuing. There was definitely a time in my life where I would have killed for one decent comic book movie, and now I get 2-3 a year. And
yeah,
I'm just like,
so many to choose from.
Well, it was just like last night. I was watching Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I'm like, I never thought there would be a time where I would be watching a weekly comic book television show, and I've got Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Arrow, The Flash, iZombie, Gotham. Who knows what's going to happen with Constantine? Supergirl's in pilot right now. Unbelievable. John just updated me via IM. He will be there starting at 5:30 Pacific time, nice. And coverage starting around 6:30. So around 6:30 Pacific is when you'll be able to tune into John's social media and see what's going on. But definitely make sure you tune in and see all the excitement there. But yeah, I mean, we're living in a magical time where I'm actually overwhelmed with how many comic book shows I have to watch every week.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty stunning. That's why we decided to have this podcast topic, just all the different movies that are coming out. And Brandon, we started a new column that runs on Fridays, sort of just covering, all this media news, the movie news that happens during the week. Sometimes it doesn't warrant, necessarily its own post, but this roundup of posts. And last week we had a big one. So
yeah,
it's just incredible.
Yeah, no, it's amazing how many people are and there was definitely a time I've lived through the time where geek was a dirty word, nerd was a dirty word, and only comic book readers were just people that lived in their basements and all that. and last year I got to go to San Diego Comic-Con for the first time in 18 years, and the difference between the last time I'd been there and this time was astounding.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was unbelievable how the industry has changed and how geek culture has become accepted now.
Yeah,
it's become part of pop culture, and that's great. And I think we're now at a stage where it's never going to go completely away. I think the popularity will wane, but I don't think it will ever go completely away. We won't go back to, well, only guys who live in their parents' basement read comic books.
Right.
Yeah, I think those days are gone, and I'm thankful for that. But so we have some questions coming in on these topics from Sachin Bahal. What are the top movies you want to see from now until the end of 2015? I have a bunch. Is there anything that's really sticking out to you, Todd?
Not to me. I think Avengers is probably the first one, and the one that I have my eyes on. I'm not a big go to the movies guy. I love renting them and watching them at home. And I watched obviously all the ones that came out earlier this year. But they weren't really the comic book movies so much. But I did like Guardians of the Universe. I love that movie.
Yeah, I'm not that big on going to the theaters anymore, just because of the crowd situation and also the expense. But of course, Avengers: Age of Ultron. I can't wait to see Ant-Man, which is the second Marvel movie for this year. Star Wars: The Force Awakens, Spectre, the next James Bond movie. I still can't decide if I'm actually excited about Mad Max Fury Road or not, because I know it's going to be just essentially a 90-minute car chase.
Right.
I know it's already out, but I'll wait until it's out on home video. I do want to see Furious 7.
Yeah, I was going to say that too. I was talking to Brandon about that recently. I saw, the first one, I saw Tokyo Drift, and I was like, okay, these are great. And he's like, no, these are awesome movies. You have to see them. And I just can't get really into them. Maybe I caught the fifth one by accident on cable one day, and I was just like, oh, you know what, I'll finally watch one of these. I'd always avoided them. I was like, oh, I'll finally watch one. And by the end of the movie, I was like, I actually enjoyed this. What's going on? What universe am I in? Now you see why there's 7 of them. Yeah, and I've watched the first 6 now, and for anyone that's curious, 5, 4, 6... 3, 1, 2. Yes, I actually like Tokyo Drift. You can all just, leave me alone. On this week's episode, Sean just rates movie series. I'm surprised you can do that in your head. I'd have to go through and look at every one. I've never sat down and done the Marvel movies. I should do that sometime. I can tell you though that Iron Man 2 or Incredible Hulk are either they fight for last place. Last place, yeah. I don't think I even saw Incredible Hulk. Original Iron Man, Guardians of the Galaxy, or the Avengers would have to fight it out for first place. Yeah, I think of those 3, I love Guardians of the Galaxy. Guardians of the Galaxy. Really, and the soundtrack too. I expected to like it. I didn't expect it to like it as much as I did. Mm-hmm. And it came out digitally just before I left last year for my vacation to England. I think I ended up watching it on the flight going over and the flight coming back after having already watched it once. It's a great movie. It sucks you in. And the soundtrack is awesome. I have it on Spotify. Great classics on that. Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, that was an awesome soundtrack. From Brazen Franco, what are the chances that Spider-Man will be part of the Avengers this time? Well, there's no chance he's going to be part of Age of Ultron unless it's the tag in the end credits. Mm-hmm. But we have heard that he is going to show up in Captain America Civil War, which is the 3rd Captain America movie, which is just about to go into production. So Spider-Man is coming, but I wouldn't expect him to show up in Age of Ultron. Right. And I saw that yesterday. They're not gonna. They had a fun little teaser, the shawarma scene at the end of the first Avengers, and they're not gonna do that again. But they might have a little clip, I guess, is what they're saying. Well, if you saw the first Avengers movie, do you remember about halfway through the credits there was a scene with the big purple guy? Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
That's what they're talking. They're going to do something similar to that. They call that a tag.
Tag.
And then the post-credit scenes are usually called stingers. So there's going to be a tag, but no stinger, is what they're saying.
Interesting.
Which is fine with me because I hated sitting in the theater waiting till the end of the credits.
Yeah, it's the worst.
Yeah, it's horrific. You're like, and the thing was, I had seen the shawarma scene leaked before I went and saw the movie in the theater, and I still sat there and I was just like, let these credits end, please, just let them in. Oh, good grief. From Brazen Franco, yeah, this is one that will fire me up. Why there still isn't a Transformer movie centered on Cybertron War? For those that don't know the history of the Transformers, before they came to Earth, I know, Todd, I know way too much of this stuff. Before the Autobots fled to Earth in the Ark, there was a giant war on Cybertron, and why I can see, because that would almost be like a CGI animated movie, but why they still have not made a Transformers movie that actually focuses on the Transformers as characters is beyond me. The fact that they keep throwing in these humans that are useless and annoying is unbelievable to me. Have you seen the fourth movie yet?
Yes.
Okay, so I watched it on a plane.
I think I did.
Do you remember Do you remember the conversation about Mark Wahlberg gets all annoyed by his daughter dating this guy? He goes,
"Yeah,
it's illegal. She's 17."
Yeah.
In a movie about giant robots, we had a discussion of statutory rape laws in Texas. Right. I'm sitting on the plane. I started looking around like, is anyone else seeing this? Is this really happening? Yes, this is really happening. So, unfortunately, why spend more time with Optimus Prime and the Autobots when we can be educated on the statutory rape laws of the state of Texas? That was amazing to me. Brazen Franco, are you saying that Ewoks is worse than the old Droids cartoon series? Now, okay, that's... the Droids and Ewoks cartoons both were horrifically bad. I would still have to say I hate the Ewoks more, because especially if you've ever seen the Ewoks TV movies. Nope. Did you even know those existed, Todd?
I didn't. I know the Droid cartoon series, the Droids cartoon.
They did 2 live-action, made-for-kids TV movies of the Ewok Adventures. They did not feature any of the regular characters except for Wicket the Ewok. And they were painful. If you ever wanted to torture information out of somebody, make them watch these.
Did kids even enjoy them?
No. How they made 2 of them, I will never know. They're almost as bad as the Star Wars Holiday Special, which is... Have you ever seen that?
Nope.
Oh,
just the movies.
You can find it online. It aired once on television in 1977. It was the story of Han trying to get Chewie back to his home planet of Kashyyyk to spend Life Day with his family. And all the original cast is in it, as well as Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Okay.
B. Arthur. Art Carney. Yeah, there's a reason it only aired once.
Is it a musical too then? Like what's going on?
There's music and dancing in it as well.
Wow.
Yeah. They Lucas locked it in the vault. I think most people would prefer he'd burned the negatives. But yeah, wow. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It was quite impressive. Anyway, going down through the questions. From David Kenyan, I hope. Daredevil is about Marvel superheroes, right? Yes, Daredevil is a Marvel superhero. for those that don't know, it premieres on Netflix on Friday, April 10th. It'll be 13 episodes. It is part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, so it does follow the same continuity as all the movies and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Daredevil, for those that aren't familiar with the character, is about a blind lawyer named Matt Murdock who was blinded when he was a child by toxic chemicals, and he received enhanced other senses, so he almost has like bat radar, and he decides to fight for the people of Hell's Kitchen neighborhood in New York.
Nice.
It's awesome character. He's a really great character. From the same gentleman is Laserdisc a CD. Kinda.
A large one.
They were the same size as vinyl albums, and they were digital, and they were... my favorite part was you always had to flip them when you got halfway through a movie, unless you had one of the fancy players that could play both sides.
Nice.
And you still... I remember I got the... do you remember the movie The Crow?
Yeah.
Okay, I got The Crow on Laserdisc, and I had a steady stream of people coming up to my house all week. Can we watch The Crow? Because they all wanted to see it, on a big clear picture. And I was like, yeah, fine. I got to the point where I'd start doing other things around the house while they watched The Crow. But
when it launched, was it that much clearer than VHS and everything? Like
it was.
Is noticeably. Huh.
It was noticeably clearer, and it also had a far better sound reproduction.
Oh. See, I remember we had a Laserdisc player in school, and they would bring the carts in with the TV on it, and that's how I saw Laserdisc. But I don't think I remember, being blown away by its quality. I think we were watching like science programs on it,
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's. Oh, yeah, Laserdiscs. And they were huge in Japan for whatever reason. I mean, the first time I went to Japan in 2000, there were still Laserdisc stores everywhere.
Huh.
It was crazy how much more popular it was over there.
That's like mini discs, too, right? Were those?
Yeah, mini discs. I think they just stopped making mini discs.
Wow.
In Japan. Yeah, they were still going. Why? I have no idea. In the realm of our normal coverage from Benjamin McDonald, I got a Moto 360 yesterday. What apps do you recommend? You've used Android Wear far more than I have.
Yeah, I think we covered this a little bit last week. The big thing I use, honestly, is just the Google Street Art background. I really like the wallpapers. It's free, and it just changes through various street art pictures all day long. That's like... For me, Android Wear is just really hands-off, and I like that about it. I really only go there to see notifications, and otherwise I just appreciate the changing wallpapers. They're really cool designs that Google has there. And again, sort of last week too, the reason I don't really rely on so many apps is because I found I was installing some, then my battery life would be really bad, so I really just keep it pretty bare bones. But that's just the way I use my Moto 360.
There you go.
Bro. I should say back too. Like I tried the Delta app for boarding passes. It didn't work. Like for whatever reason, my screen wouldn't scan when I went to get on the plane and all that kind of stuff too. So I just really haven't explored.
I find that a lot with phones too, though. I mean, whenever I'm boarding a plane, I still just go ahead and get a printed ticket.
So do I. It's like just a safe fallback,
Yeah, exactly. Because what if something happens and your battery runs down?
Yep.
I always still go to the kiosk and check in and get a printed ticket.
Yep.
From Null Gaming, I just ordered a Nexus 6. Should I get an Android Wear device? And also, with the 6-inch screen, should I sell my 2013 Nexus 7?
Yeah, that all comes down to how you use your devices.
Yeah.
I've found, actually, with the 6 Plus, and I was using the Nexus 6 for a while, too. Now I'm using the S6 Edge. But when I have a bigger screen, I haven't been using a tablet as much either. So if you find you're in the same use case, then maybe you should sell the Nexus 7. But if you find that you always use that Nexus 7 for reading books and you're not doing that on your phone, then keep it. Android Wear, yeah, I would probably wait and see how soon Motorola releases the new 360. It could be as soon as this June during Google I/O if they decide to have a bunch of new products there. Otherwise, the original Moto 360 is still my favorite, especially for the wireless charging and stuff like that. Really convenient.
Or you could always go Pebble.
Yeah, or you could go Pebble. We both pre-ordered the Pebble Time, which should start in May, and we're excited to check that out.
I'm super excited to check out the Pebble Time.
Yeah.
Very excited. A color screen with 7 days of battery life. Sold.
Yeah. and they have a huge developer base and everything, so there's already tons of apps, and they're already going to work with it. So.
Yeah, exactly. Also from Knoll Gaming, and this one we'll just watch Todd glaze over. And on the topic of back to the films, why hasn't Hot Rod Rodimus appeared in the movies when Galvatron has? Okay, Todd just.
Yep, right over my head.
Go.
Well, I know Galvatron, but yeah.
I think Galvatron was kind of like a last-minute addition to the last film. I think it was just Michael Bay doesn't know what the heck he's doing. I honestly, the Dinobots were such a throwaway. They should have had far more screen time than they did, a better introduction than they did. So who knows if he'll ever get to the whole Hot Rod Rodimus storyline. I hope he does. Or actually, I hope somebody does, not him. Michael Bay just needs to go away.
Like you did on Samsung stage. Oh, bird.
I still laugh about that. That was the most amazing thing ever. For those that don't know what we're talking about, it was CES 2014.
14, yeah.
Samsung had brought Michael Bay in to talk about their new televisions. The teleprompter goes dead during the presentation, and instead of just winging it, he just goes, bye. It turns around, walks off stage.
I can't do this or something.
Yeah, I can't do this. It just walks off stage. And we're all sitting in the press room. None of us were in the Samsung presentation. We're all just sitting in the press room watching the live feed, and we're like, did that just happen? That just happened. And John and Ashley immediately ran over and did a reenactment. Oh, that was one of the most amazing things ever. Oh, Michael Bay. From Vivek Nick, does Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver know that their father is Magneto? Is there a chance of Wolverine to come in future movies? They cannot mention Magneto, and they cannot mention Wolverine because currently all the X-Men films are tied up over at 20th Century Fox. So long as 20th Century Fox continues to make X-Men related films, the rights cannot revert back to Marvel. They also are not allowed to use the word mutant. So they are referring to Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver as gifted. and so if they'll, I don't know how they're going. They are definitely still brother and sister, or they're still twins in Avengers: Age of Ultron. But I don't know what they're going to say about their father because they cannot say the name Magneto.
You think they could do like profit sharing, right? Like,
well, I mean, Marvel just worked out a deal with Sony for Spider-Man. They're sharing Spider-Man now at this point. Mm-hmm. I think Fox just they're doing so well without Marvel that they're just like, why bother sharing any of the pie?
Right.
So I don't know. Great question from Brezen Franco. Is it a must, quote unquote, to watch the Marvel TV series? I'm so overwhelmed by the spring anime season, I don't know if I should make some space for them. Daredevil, I would say yes, because it's a completely new character. I look at Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. while I enjoy it. It's more like if the camera in a Marvel movie panned 45 degrees to the left, you would see what's going on in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., so it's not essential. But Daredevil, since it's its own original character and its own storyline, I would say make time for Daredevil, but you don't necessarily have to for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Have you ever seen the musical Wicked, Todd? That's the way I always described it to people. Wicked is like if the Wizard of Oz camera had just been turned slightly to the left, you would have seen the what was happening in Wicked.
Yeah. I get that.
Yeah, I love Wicked. I've seen it twice. I saw it. The second time I saw it was in London. Mm-hmm. So hearing them doing the talking portions with British accents was just making my mind melt. I was like, okay, I don't get it. Another question from Bros and Franco. Why did Disney stop doing animated movies? I missed my youth. They still do animated movies. Frozen, Big Hero 6. I think a lot of people get confused. Not all animated movies with the Disney name on them are Pixar. There are actually there's Pixar and there's Disney animated.
Right.
So like Wreck-It Ralph, Tangled, Princess and the Frog, Frozen, Big Hero 6, all those are actually Disney animated movies. And they've gotten really good the past couple of years. Have you seen Big Hero 6 yet?
Yeah, I did. I watched it early, right when it came out of theaters, I guess. Or it might have still been in theaters, like, you know how the early rentals come through.
Yeah, I loved
Frozen, too.
I loved Frozen, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Ooh, from Sachin Bahal. Who's your favorite Star Wars character and why? Han. I really didn't have to think.
I feel like for me, it's like Darth Vader. Like, I don't know.
Well,
looks cool.
Okay, so once he has the armor on.
Yeah. Once he has the armor. Sorry.
I would say Han, and then I despite as bad as the prequels were, I thought Ewan McGregor did a great job as Obi-Wan. I really, really liked his take on Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
This is for anyone else out there. If you've never watched the Star Wars Clone Wars cartoon, which is actually now canon, it's awesome. You really, really should watch that. It really expands on the Obi-Wan character a lot. Let's see, what else have we've got a lot of questions, so I'm just looking through here. I hate it when, this is the one thing I hate about Google Hangouts. I was just about to click on a question and it moved on me. I wish they wouldn't move around. From Michael Vasale. Hey guys, I'm shopping for a new laptop for work and school. Have any recommendations?
Totally depends on your budget. I'm still on a 2012 MacBook Air that has lasted me for 3 years. It's pretty much dead now. The battery's dead, the screen flickers, and all kinds of stuff, and it's very slow. But, you know, there aren't many laptops out there that last that long these days, I find. I've tried some of them, the Yoga 3 Pro, not crazy about it. It runs on the Core M chip that Apple just put in the new MacBook, and I found that the battery life on the Yoga 3 Pro wasn't great, and the chip found a little bit underpowered. But we'll see how it performs on the MacBook, which I'm really interested in. I look at, you know, a MacBook Air and some of the new Windows computers. It really depends on your budget, but like I have my my other main work computers, a Windows 8.1 machine, and I have that $140 netbook that I've talked about on previous shows. So it really depends on your budget. If you have the money, you know, I really like MacBooks, but it's really up to you. And if you have the money and don't want a MacBook and you want Windows, John has the Surface Pro 3, and he really loves that. And now the Surface 3 is out. It's a little underpowered, I'd say, too. It's an Atom chip, which is similar to what's in my netbook, but yeah, depends on your budget.
Okay, Brazen Franco cleared up. He meant cartoon animated, not CG animated. If you're talking cell animation, it's gone. It's a sad state. I love animation cells. I have several from various WB shows. I even have a couple from Who Framed Roger Rabbit. I have a lot from animes. I love cells, but unfortunately I think that's just not... It's so much cheaper and quicker to do a computer now that I just don't think cells are ever going to come back. From the Average Dan, completely off topic, but I'm curious, does Google Plus handle the transitions between the two of you and integrate with YouTube, or do you have a third-party software playing a part? Curious about while building my channel. This is 100% Google Plus, Google Hangouts.
We just record the audio using software called Audacity, and then Sean puts them together and creates the audio podcast.
Right. So when we release the audio podcast, that is done with third-party software called Audacity, like Todd just said. But the transitions, the camera switches between Todd and I, that's completely handled by Google Hangouts. And when we announce, when we publish that we're going to be doing the show, that immediately goes to our YouTube channel, and That's all we have to do. It is super, super easy. Mm-hmm. All you have to do is connect your Google Plus account to your YouTube account, which takes like 30 seconds. But no, this is great. Great software. Super easy to use. And if you do want to record audio, again, it's called Audacity, which is spelled Audacity. I just looked over at it.
You want to download the MP3 plugin, which is easy.
Yes, don't forget I don't know why that's not included.
Yeah, it should just be part of the package.
It really should be. It's so silly. Oh, come on, Franco. I know I don't remember the names of the 4 clones that make up Delta Squad. I don't remember. 5. That's the only one I remember is 5s. I may be a geek, and I may have a silly amount of knowledge in my head, but even I have my limits. Trying to screw with me. From Sachin Bahal. From along the same lines of the Star Wars question, who's your favorite Avenger and why? And it doesn't have to be one that is currently in the Avengers movies or Marvel Cinematic Universe. Well, Todd, you would only know the movie ones.
Yeah, I was going to say.
If you include the comics, the problem is everybody in the Marvel Universe at one point or another has been an Avenger. I would say, though, just sticking with the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Robert Downey Jr. has brought such an amazing presence to the role of Tony Stark. It's just hands down Tony Stark for me.
Yeah, I think I like Tony Stark the best, too.
Yeah, it's 90. Stark in the comics is... He can be a not a nice guy, especially if you go back to, there was a storyline called Demon in the Bottle where Tony actually became an alcoholic. And he can be he's a womanizer, he's all that stuff, but Downey has, as far as I'm concerned, has just defined Iron Man at this point.
Yeah. Do people frequently ever compare Elon Musk to Tony Stark?
Oh,
yeah.
Have you?
I thought so. I just want to make sure.
There are Twitter feeds dedicated to it.
Oh, really? That's awesome.
Have you never seen the Twitter feed Bored Elon Musk?
No.
Oh, you have to subscribe to it.
I gotta find this.
It's just completely random inventions that supposedly Elon Musk is coming up with when he's bored. But no, oh yeah, Brandon and I even make the joke all the time. When's he just going to give up the ghost and build an Iron Man suit?
Yeah, exactly.
And I want to see Elon Musk flying over the United States in a suit of armor.
Yeah, here's one: alarm clock that releases spiders. Now you're up. That's awesome.
Exactly.
Good one. I'm following it now.
Oh no, it's awesome. Boy, everyone's just going to ask me characters now. Hey, Sean, who's your favorite Transformers character, old show and movie? Sideswipe. Red Lamborghini from Generation 1. But of course, Optimus Prime has a huge soft spot in my heart. But if you're going to go back to old school Transformers, Sideswipe. Also, always liked Hound a lot. Right now, I can just hear Todd going, "What the hell? I know those are words." Well,
yeah,
we're
I spent all my time playing Ultima Online instead of.
we're just about done for today, but let's go out on a totally off the wall question from David Kincarnian. If you could be a chicken or a monkey, which would you be?
A monkey.
Monkey, hands down.
Yeah.
I want to be able to fling my feces at people.
Yeah, and I don't want to end up on a McDonald's menu.
You don't want to be on a bucket?
Yeah, that's right.
Well, folks, thank you very much for joining us and indulging our little divergence into the world of entertainment. As I said, unfortunately, we do these shows every week, so we're going to, every so often, we're going to have to sway off the road of mobile and tablets and into the world of entertainment or streaming media or gaming, whatever it may be. So expect more episodes like this. And don't forget to tune in Monday evening to John Rettinger's social accounts so that you can see all the excitement from the Avengers premiere. We're super, super excited and honored that we got invited to this. So we're quite excited, and I've already told John that Tuesday morning he has to tell me lots of things. As always, we do appreciate you joining us. You can find us on the iTunes Store by searching for the TechnoBuffalo Show. We do appreciate if you rate and review us. That does help out the show. You can find us on Pocket Cast. You can find us on the Stitcher app, which means you can listen to us anytime, anywhere. You can subscribe via RSS feed. Anywhere there are podcasts, you can find the TechnoBuffalo Show. Until next week, I'm Sean Ani. I'm the editor-in-chief of the site. I have been joined by Deputy Managing Editor Todd Hazelton.
Bye, everybody.
Till next weekend, take it easy and talk to you later. Bye-bye.